Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Kayla MacKenzie. A senior basketball player from Peoria, Arizona, was named the NAIA Tournament MVP for pushing the Stars to the national championship in women's basketball, the 7th, in fact, women's basketball national championship. And talk about the season. What was it like? This is your second national championship team you've been a part of.
This season, we've been working since the first week of school. We got here in August. And so to finally accomplish a national championship just puts all our hard work, it just proves it pays off. That's everybody's goal in the country, is to win that championship. And for us to be the last team standing, just all hard work paid off.
You've been a part of 2 national championship teams here in 2014 and also in 2012. Talk about the differences in those 2 seasons.
The differences, well, the first time we won it in 2012, I was a sophomore. And so just my role on the teams was different, obviously. The talent level on the first team, I was able to just play a smaller role. But this year, as a senior, I really had to step up and be a leader and come outside my comfort zone and get everyone else on board.
And one of the ways you did that was you switched to the point guard position midway through the season. Talk about what that was like the first time you heard that was going to be a possibility. And I'm sure your outward response was, sure, whatever we want to do. But what was your inward response?
Well, I played a little bit of point guard in high school, but we didn't really have a structured offense or anything like that. And so Coach had kind of made a few remarks here and there, like, make sure you work on the one position, work on the point guard position. And, of course, my first initial was, gosh, not point guard. But, I just kind of took it upon myself to take pride in that role and just help the team stay in our offenses. And I really try to discipline myself to run the offenses, which in turn would help the team stay in the offenses, which would just make everything flow easier. So, and at the end, I enjoyed it. I think it made me play harder and just work harder.
How deserving is your coach, Latricia Trammell, of her National Coach of the Year award?
I can't say enough about her. She eats, breathes, sleeps basketball. She is one of the hardest working coaches I have ever played for. And I wanted to win it for her. And so there's no other coach that could have won that award, in my opinion.
You're a nursing major here at OCU. Talk about what you've learned and what your experiences have gained you being a nursing major.
Nursing is a tough field, and especially school. You can ask anyone. It's not easy to pass those classes. And so clinicals go on once a week, and with basketball, it creates an instant conflict because clinicals are all day and you have to schedule practice. This year we were lucky though. We just practiced at 4 after them. Last year we had to go at 4:30 in the morning. And so we kind of anticipated those conflicts and tried to fix them before they happened.
What made you choose nursing as your career path?
I've always been interested in the medical field. And so when I came to OCU, they had a really good nursing program, and I thought, why not?
You've been a 4-year player here at OCU, 2 national championships as we talked about, but also Kara Pugh has been a 4-year player, and you guys have kind of gone through the system together. Talk about your relationship with her.
Well, we've experienced a lot of the same highs and lows of this whole journey, and so, that instantly brings us close because no one else will truly know what this experience has been except for us two, and I think that's a really special thing.
What's going to be your favorite memory from OCU?
Just the tradition. You walk into a gym as OCU and people automatically look at you like they're here, that's them, and I think that just says a lot about this program and having that tradition of just being a good team.
All right, thanks very much. Talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Kayla MacKenzie, and coming up next on the OCU Athletics Update, we'll talk to her coach and the National Coach of the Year, Latricia Trammell.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at NAIA.org.
Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to women's basketball coach Latricia Trammell, fresh off of a national championship, the 7th in OCU women's basketball history. And Coach, let's talk about that championship game. You had player Yvonne Neal go for 36 in the championship game. Talk about her performance that day.
Well, 36 points is a lot, but she also rebounded the ball, and it was just an amazing experience. I mean, even leading into that 5 games in 7 days, someone stepped up every game that we needed. And back to Avante, she did that, in that championship game. I think she scored her last 11 out of her 14 points there in the stretch. And so she's just a fantastic player, and I'm glad she's only a junior.
Kayla MacKenzie was named the tournament MVP, and I just felt like throughout the tournament, Kayla was playing with a confidence that she really didn't display throughout the regular season. Talk about her performance through the tournament.
She's an amazing young lady. To go into that, I mentioned it before, that point position, starting in December that she's never ran before. She performed just at an elite level. She played in the 5 out of 7 days, those 5 games, 38 to 40 minutes a game, and kept us in it many games. That championship game too, she scored 5 threes and took care of the basketball. But she's one of the main reasons why we acquired that national championship, just because of her leadership at that point position.
Three-point shooting was a strength of your team this season, with Yvonne Neal being an excellent shot maker, Kayla as well, but also Kara Pugh coming off the bench. Talk about the three-pointer as a weapon for your team.
And that's what helped us even in that national tournament. I talk about Kara Pugh. She's just that unconscious shooter. And I always tell players, a great shooter can miss her first 5 shots, make her 6th one, and she believes that's the first one she took all night. And Kara has that mentality. And and I think it was against our third or second game against Montana Northern, she had 21 points at halftime, and we went in at halftime 2 points ahead. So she kept us in it, and helped us win that game. And so, like I said, someone different stood out every game. So it was definitely a team effort.
A lot has been talked about Kayla MacKenzie moving into the point guard position midway through the year. The team went through 3 different players really that ran the point this year. Talk about what that means to a team to have that many different kind of floor leaders and how you eventually settled on that position.
Well, just in our philosophy, I like whoever gets the rebound hitting those quick guards and let's go. And so you're right, I tried 3 different players, and all 3 did well, but I have to feel confident in that particular position with who I put there. And so I gave a few girls an opportunity, and by December I just thought, Kayla's the one. And I worried about, am I going to take away more of her shooting from transition if I put her at the point? So that's why I went back and forth of trying to find that right fit for that position. And December she played point position, two game span, and I just knew, and I never thought about that position again. So she did a fantastic job.
Any other individual performances you want to point out from the tournament? I know you got contributions from a lot of different players. Autumn Huffman hit some big shots. Autumn Lau does what she does. Talk about some other individuals from the tournament.
Yeah, well, you don't realize we actually had the stomach flu during that time as well. We had 2 players with it, and I was giving them Pedialyte and fluids, and sometimes they didn't even go to shoot around because they stayed in bed. And so we went through that, just different adversities going through. And I mentioned that Autumn Lau, she was one of them. And the first couple of games she had it. And then she did what she was supposed to do to get back and healthy, but she played in every game. She was fighting through that adversity for her. And I think about her getting a crucial rebound in the end and getting a deflection on the post defense. I think of Uli Montu, several games having a double-double, which opened up those 3-point shots on the outside of her contributing and scoring inside in the paint. And like I said, I could mention Albany Anderson, a freshman, coming in, and you could just see a keen determination on her face and her decision-making. Even some of the players that didn't get to play much, they were in tune to what we were trying to accomplish. They were cheering. They were giving out great scouting sticky notes. And so it was just to see them grow and develop there in the stretch and come together as a basketball team, it was something that I will never forget.
At what point during the season did you look at your team and say, this is a team that can win a national championship?
Oh, I said that from the beginning. No, yeah, I did. Well, when we think about it, I knew we had the talent to do it. I knew that it was going to take a while because we had 7 new players and 3 returners. And coming in and not having just a true point guard, you know, hitting that adversity and just different things throughout the season. I remember walking down even in the hallway of our offices and I would think, we're going to win this thing. I mean, honestly, I did that in November, December, January. And when we got to the national tournament, though, I could just see a different, I mean, it was a business trip. And I could just see that those younger players were fighting for the seniors. I could see that they had a more focus going into each game and even in our preparation. And so it was, I'm going to say as a coach, I always have to believe that's our ultimate goal is to win a national championship. And so I'm going to say I kept every goal that we set for the season, that was at the ultimate goal. And you just got to get your players to be confident. You got to get them to believe that they can do it. And I think beating some good teams there in that early in that national tournament, we started even believing more.
What memories are going to stick with you from this OCU season?
I think, you know, obviously when that final buzzer went off at the national championship game and looking at their faces and just that almost a sign of relief, but not only that is just that ecstatic, passionate look that they had on their faces. I mean, it was just one of those memories. It happened so fast. I just remember to myself, I kept thinking, take a deep breath and take this moment all in, you know, because I know that's going to be motivation for me to get a team back there. And I think just seeing them follow the plan and have confidence. You mentioned Autumn Huffman. You know, she shot 63% in that national tournament and hit some big shots for us. And she's not really the big scorer, you know, throughout the season. Just seeing those individual, you know, rewards, I guess you could say, for them to feel that confident and excited after we accomplished that. That's something that I'll never forget.